That's it. It is a draw in the Champions League. A draw. And you've got to say Celtic never got off to the best of starts. Cameron Carter-Vickers put the ball into the back of his own net. Never a great start. But it's 1-1. It's not the end of the world. Even though it feels like it, it's not the end of the world when you look at some of the other scores around Europe this evening. Dortmund beat Zagreb 3-0 in Zagreb, so that's one that Celtic can still look forward to try and win away from home. Dortmund put 3 past Dynamo Zagreb. PSV beat Shakhtar Donetsk 3-2 there on 77 minutes in extra time. Juventus are 0-0 with Aston Villa. So that does have some permutations for Celtic. The Monaco game against Benfica, that is 2-0 to Monaco. Liverpool are winning. That's done and dusted. That game also, they have beaten Real Madrid at Anfield. So all in all, what has it done to the league, for the Champions League for Celtic? We're still in the same position. Let me just double check. No, we're down to 20th. Now, because of the Benfica scoreline, it's just put us down. We were at 18th a couple of minutes ago. We were at 18th position a couple of minutes ago. So it just shows you the other games. It was imperative that we got those 3 points tonight. The Benfica game, they're now winning. Damn! So that's pushed us down. Juventus are just above us. It's at the end. It's at this stage of the Champions League game, the group stages. We have got 3 games left to go. 8 points after 5 games. We would have took that at the start of the season, wouldn't we? Let's be honest. After 5 games, I think everyone would have took that at the start of the season. Better than the defeat, Baz Boy. Yeah, it was. Was it? I mean, the own goal was unbelievable. As Cameron Carter-Vickers just not having a clue where Schmeichel was. Schmeichel showed the true captain material that Schmeichel is, and getting the players together after that game. You've seen it right for the start. They went. I did say before the game, it looks like they're going to go 5 across the middle. They did go 5 across the middle. They were pushing their 2 wide men out really wide. They were also giving their fullbacks a free rein of doubling up on our wingers, which I kind of thought they would do. Brendan Rodgers didn't manage to change it. He tried to change it in the first half when he changed Daizen Maeda and Nico Kuhn from one side to the other. That didn't really work. It didn't free them up any. Them having 5 across the middle, I didn't think they would be able to last that kind of pressure against Celtic. I didn't think they would be able to last that kind of pressure against Celtic for the full 90 minutes. I was proved right, they didn't. Celtic were on the upper hand. If Kyogo hits the target, once again, Kyogo, he needs to hit the target more. If he hits the target with that shot just before they score that goal, and it's just lucky. We need to talk about the goal that they scored. I mean, they went 2-1 up. I think it was lucky that it was offside. His trailing leg was offside. You want it in big games like that, but Jesus. Cheers for that, Ian, and we'll catch you later on. I think that it was a game that was harder than a lot of us actually thought. I think a lot of us thought it was going to be an easier game than what it was. They thought that this was their easiest game, which I thought was interesting. When you look at the games that we've got left to go, it's possible we will still qualify for the knockout stages, but a win tonight would have took us. I mean, we're on 8 points. You would have took 8 points all day long. You would have took 8 points all day long before the Champions League started. I don't care what your name is. You would have taken that all day long. But we're down to 20th position. We don't want to slip down any more. That's a certainty. When you look at the other results, Benfica winning, that's the one that I didn't really want to win. I did say that it was going to come down to it. There was narrow margins tonight, and we've seen what those narrow margins are. Celtic are still on a goal difference of 0. Juventus, they are sitting on 8 points also. They're sitting on a goal difference of +2. The Juventus drew 0-0 with Aston Villa. That is a full-time result. The full-time results are all in now, so it was Aston Villa 0, Juventus 0. Earlier today, Sturm Graz versus Girona. That was 1-0 to Sturm Graz. And Monaco 2, Benfica 3, PSV 3, Shakhtar Donetsk 2, Liverpool 2, Real Madrid 0. Celtic 1, Club Brugge 0. It's not a disaster of a result, but I was hoping for a little bit better tonight. They only had one shot on target, and they scored for it. Lucky for us, it was classed as offside. If I've said this for weeks. People have said, if you can find a better striker than Kyogo needs to start hitting the back of the net. He needs to start getting shots on target. It's as simple as that. You can understand why Brendan Rodgers wants another striker, because when it comes down to it, the chances that we create for our players, it is unbelievable. The amount of times that we put it past, we don't hit the target. We're not getting the keeper to make the save. We're putting it past the post. We're putting it. It's just these fine margins within the game. On another night, that would have been a game that we won 3-1. It would have been another night we would have won 3-0 that game. If you'd got our chances in the back of the net, even if you get them on target, there's a chance that they're going in. But as you not to be. 20th position, I told you, it was a must-win. Square sausage Mick, yep. Paulo Bernardo and Alex Bailly should have started. Yes, I think that I said that Alex Bailly should have started before the game. I've been calling for him to start all week. I thought Bernardo would start because his European pedigree just shone through again. But Brendan Rodgers made the big call. And he has to live with it. He made changes in the game. He made changes at times where there was plenty of opportunity, plenty of time for the players and the team to win the game. And we had the opportunity and the chances to win the game, but we never ultimately won the game. I think it should have been a different game without the first one. One of those freaks. Yep. Hitati looked knackered towards the end. Yep. Baz Engels should have controlled before putting the ball over the bar. Yep. It's just... Kyogo was a waste, says Mr. Quinn. Phil says, give credit to Bruges. They're a good side. It was hard to watch. Very sloppy throughout. Frustrating. It was a very frustrating game. Bernardo, he's got to start before Engels in the Champions League. I'm sorry, Brendan. And Brendan we trust, but it's time for Alex Bailly to be given the nod before Greg Taylor. As good as Greg Taylor has been, you've just seen the impetus, and you've seen the ball that he created the ball for Daizen Maeda to score the goal. He is a little bit lighter weight, but with being a little bit lighter weight, he got a fantastic free kick for us. So it is what it is. This is the top level football, and Brendan Rodgers, he knows that it's fine margins. It's fine margins again, and it's fine margins again tonight that ultimately cost us. Little mistakes. Cameron Carter-Vickers spoke about it yesterday at the press conference. He spoke about little mistakes, and we need to keep out the little mistakes. The writing was on the wall, wasn't it? The writing was on the wall, because it was then Cameron Carter-Vickers who created the first most epic mistake ever to be seen at this level of football. That will get played back. That'll be oh my god, that'll be on more YouTube videos than anything in the next couple of weeks. It was like, this Cameron Carter-Vickers will never ever get to live that goal down. It wasn't CCV's fault, no it wasn't, but he was expecting the keeper to be there. The keeper, he was expecting the ball for, I think it was Kuhn, but anyway, it is what it is. I don't want to moan too much because we're doing well so far. I'm not moaning, I just think it's fine margins, Carly, and I was going to say that hun word. We could have done better, and it was a hard game, very hard game. And like Neil Lennon said, during half-time. This is the best team that he's seen at Celtic Park this season. They were a very good team. And I've got to say, Brugge will have their own goal montage soon. Yep. Hatate is like Samaras. You can tell the first 5 minutes if he's going to have a good game or not. Well, yeah, that's pretty much, yeah, I get where you're coming from with that. Taylor should never start a Champions League game. He's not good enough for Europe, says Celtic Mark. Kaiser, sorry I didn't manage to get on. We could have snatched the win. We could have, but we had plenty of opportunities throughout the game to score goals, and we never. We put it over the bar. Kyogo puts it wide. Rio Hatate, should he have flicked that header towards the goal? Should he have tried to flick it back the way to Kyogo, who was on an open goal behind him? There's all these things, you know. It's as hard as what it was to watch tonight. It was a fantastic game of football, and we're still in it. That's the main thing. We're still in it. Our passing was atrocious. Square sausage, Mick. It says, I mean, our passing, when you see it, the stats, our passing accuracy tonight was actually about the same as normal. Our pass accuracy was 90%. Now, over the last couple of weeks, our pass accuracy has been going from about 87 to 90%. We went down to about 83% in one game. So our pass accuracy was actually, for the passes that were connecting, were 90% were good. We look at the shots. We had 7 shots on target. 7 shots in total. Sorry, they had 9 shots. They had 3 shots on target. The majority of them came well towards the second half. We had 3 shots on target. Possession, we had 61%. They had 39%. We had 686 passes altogether. They had 452 passes. We had 5 fouls. They had 8. They had 3 yellow cards. We had 1 yellow card. We had 2 corners, they had 1 corner. We had 4 corners, they had 5 corners. When you look at the standings, Liverpool went back to the top of the Champions League with their win over Real Madrid. That's pushed Inter Milan down to second place on 13 points, Barcelona on 12 points, and then Dortmund way back up the table above Atalanta this evening, 2 teams that Celtic have played. Dortmund winning away this evening has put them right back up the league, scoring 3 goals against Dynamo Zagreb. It just shows you that, I mean, can we get 3 goals against Dynamo Zagreb in December? It's going to be a hard one, but it is a must-win game if we've got any ambitions to getting up there. We look at Atalanta, they're on 11 points, and Leverkusen are on 10 points, Arsenal are on 10 points, and Monaco are on 10 points. That's your top 8. And this is where it gets really tight, because Aston Villa are on 10 points, Sporting are on 10 points, Brest are on 10 points, Lille are on 10 points. It is really top. It's really tight to getting into that top 8. There's going to be a lot of clubs pushing to try and get into that top 8 now. This is the business end of the Champions League. And after 8th position, you've got Aston Villa, who are 9th on 10 points, Sporting 10 points, Brest 10 points, Lille 10 points, Bayern 9 points, Benfica 9 points, Atletico Madrid 9 points, AC Milan 9 points, Manchester City 8 points. I was wanting us to get above Man City tonight. PSV 8 points, Juventus 8 points, and Celtic 8 points. That is the teams that are with 8 points, and then it goes down to 7 points with Feyenoord, and the rest of the top 24 is Feyenoord 7 points, Club Brugge 7 points, Dynamo Zagreb 7 points, and then Real Madrid in 24th position. You would never have thought that Real Madrid would be so far down the Champions League. Real Madrid are usually up there. Real Madrid have aspirations to win the Champions League every single season, but they find themselves down in 24th. They could go out of the Champions League altogether at the first hurdle in the next couple of weeks. I'm not sure what games that they've got, but Celtic do have a couple of games where we can win it. Was this Celtic's hardest game? I didn't think that this was going to be our hardest game, that's for sure. I thought we had played our hardest game in the Champions League. Kyogo just didn't he didn't even get any of the ball. He had to come away back to the half line in the first half. When you look at the wingers, Brendan Rodgers had to have a good chat with everyone at half time, and he speeded things up a bit. The movement was a bit better in the second half. Where do we go from here? Let's jump into we are 20th. I know, Big Dom, we are 20th. We are 20th in the Champions League. We were 18th up until about the last couple of minutes, and when Benfica won their game, Benfica were drawn, that pushed us down to 20th position. It's tough being a Celtic fan, but it's even tougher if we do not stay in this top 24. That was the aim, to stay in the top 24 to get the extra 2 games. I did want and have aspirations to try and get into the top 8, but when you see how tight it is, I mean, the teams that are sitting in 9th position, and this is why I was talking about goals and goals galore tonight. And from position, Aston Villa are sitting on +5, Sporting on +3, Brest +3, Lille +2, Bayern are +5, Benfica +3, Atletico Madrid are only +2, AC Milan +2, Man City are sitting on +6. We could have went way above them though. PSV are on +3, and Juventus are on +2, and then there's Celtic on 0. So that just shows you how close it is. If we had won 3-1 tonight, we would have went away up to the league. We'd be sitting in 10th position, and we could have been sitting around about 12th, 13th position. I called it right last night. If we had won 3-1, that was my target last night. Win 3-1 and get us pushed up there to about 11th, 12th position, which keeps us with just a fighting chance of getting into that top 8. Now, I've got to say, it's going to be very, very difficult for Celtic to get into the top 8. It's not over and done yet. We are in 20th position, and there is still 3 games left to play in the Champions League, and 3 games that Celtic can still take something from. When you look at the way that Aston Villa have dropped down the league, and they won their first 3 games. They lost a game, then they drew a game. It's going to come down to that game whether Celtic can get anywhere near that, but by then we shall know that we are in the top 24, and that's all that really matters now. It's about staying in the top 24 and getting those 2 extra games in the Champions League. It would have been nice, it would have been fantastic, it would have been absolutely amazing if we managed to get up to the top 8, but 4 points clear of, what's that was Paul saying? We're usually bottom with 0, says Kaiser. Yep, we are. And there's lots to be proud about. There's lots to be proud about the way that this Celtic team, for one, came back after the own goal this evening. Celtic teams of the past would have capitulated and just collapsed, and it would have been a rout after that. This was a really, really good team. We're better than what we were tonight. That's what I'm trying to get at. I'm upset that we didn't win the game, but I know we are better than that. I know that we are better than that performance tonight, and that is that's the point where, it's just those fine margins at this league. Yeah, again, Celtic don't show that they can hold their heads high at the top of the table. We can hold our heads high. I'm proud of this Champions League campaign, says Big Des. Yep, and it's been a fantastic campaign, and it's not over yet. I'm just disappointed that we never got the win, because I really wanted us to get up there. I thought that we could do it. I really thought that we could do it. 4 points clear of them, and that's in 25th. But there's still 3 games to go. Engels was awful again, says Big Dom. Bernardo is better than Engels. Yep, but he's got that price tag that kind of pushes him in front, and I think it's just that. Yep, 9 points up for grabs, still to go. Carly, we are that. We've got 9 points still to go. There's a lot can happen between now and the game at the end of January against Aston Villa. I don't even know where to go now. Honestly, I'm deflated. I'm not disappointed. I'm deflated. That's it. I'm never disappointed. That's a Sevconian thing. I'm more deflated at the way that it went tonight, because I thought that we could have done way, way better. I thought that Zagreb will be tough. Well, it might be tough, but the Dortmund beat them 3-0 tonight. So, I mean, they've never won a game yet. Haven't they? They've won a couple of games. It will be a tough game. There's no doubt about it. All these games in the Champions League are tough. Dynamo Zagreb is up next on the 10th of December. When was the last time that we got 3 or 4 points in the Champions League? We need to take the positives out of this campaign, and we need to take the positives for the team going forward. And we need to take the positive and really thank Brendan Rodgers for sticking to his guns this pre-season and telling the board of the type of player and the quality of the player that Brendan Rodgers wanted to bring to the team. Because if this was a year ago and we were bringing in the same level of player, we can see there's a little bit of progression. I mean, there's a couple of players at that Bruges team that I'm thinking, do you know what? We could maybe steal them from that team. They can't be that expensive, and the wages at Club Bruges can't be that much more, or they have to be about the same as what Celtic are playing, surely, because Bruges, the Belgian league, it can't be a high-paying league. But if anyone had said that Cameron Carter-Vickers was going to score a goal tonight, they would never have thought it would have been in his own net. Cameron Carter-Vickers just probably went into the dressing room trying to apologise and he's a fantastic player. And we just hope that it doesn't affect him too much. Hank says, don't worry, Baz, but a few brothers for us. I'm just going to jump into the chat now. We need to get 4 points for the next 2 games, says the flying column. Yep, I think 4 points is a minimum. 4 points is the minimum just to keep us in this top 24. It's going to get really tight now. You can start to see the good players in the Champions League starting to shine through, except for the ones from Real Madrid. Carla says, honestly, I'm just glad that we never got beat. Move on to the next one now. Yep, and it'll be interesting to see what Brendan Rodgers says. Telly's froze. Square Sausage Mick, we won't get a thing at Villa. Do you think so? I think we might. Celtic will beat Villa, says Billy Winters. Just 2 comments later. Tarmac says, just about everyone on the One Celtic fan view says, if we play like this, like we did against Hearts on Saturday, we'd get beat. My God, we are lucky. Yeah. Deborah said, listen, it could have been worse. We could have been the Union Bears across the other side of the city. A joke. Yeah, I'm not devastated. I'm not disappointed. I'm more. We could have done so much better. We know that we've got the players will know that themselves. Listen, we don't need to feel it because the players will go into that dressing room and ultimately they will know that they could have done better. And that's Brendan Rodgers now has to get them up and get the team back up because we have a game just at the weekend that is just as important. When you look at the Champions League, that will take care of itself. It's now put the Champions League to bed. We're in 20th position with the team. I can't see us dropping down to under 24th position. It would be a travesty it would be an implosion of all implosions if we were to, but we've still got it within us. I did say that we would need about 4 wins in the Champions League. I'll still stand by that. I said when you asked me at the beginning of the campaign how many wins will we need to get through, I said we need 4. We're on 2. We've been beaten twice. We've drawn 1. If we can win another 2 games out of the remaining 3, well, we're doing not too bad. Can we get 5 points out of the remaining 3? 5 points would be enough to make sure that we stay in the top 24 teams. It means we get an extra game playoff. But when you look at the teams that are going to be in the playoff positions, it does give me the fear of death, because then it means going back to maybe Atletico Madrid, who absolutely ruined us last season. Man City, who are pretty much woeful and collapsed this season. It'd be good to get Man City because I would take them. Bayern Munich, Jesus, Benfica, Atletico Madrid, Milan, AC Milan, Manchester City, PSV, Juventus, Celtic, Feyenoord, Club Brugge, Dynamo Zagreb and Real Madrid are all the teams that would be in the playoff positions. Nobody's going to like to come to Celtic Park. It's going to be a hard enough game, but it's can Celtic get anything away from home from any of these teams. I think after the next game on the 10th of December, it will be a case of we'll know that we are in the top 24. I can't see us dropping 8 points in the last 2 games to knock us down under the 24th position. But we go on, we do go on, and it's as simple as that. We're Celtic, and you know what? It's been a fantastic journey and it's not over yet. Don't blame Vickers. Schmeichel left his goal unguarded. Michael, he never left his goal unguarded. He thought that Nico Kuhn was actually going to do the pass back to him. He didn't expect Cameron Carter-Vickers to get the ball. He thought the ball was going to come back to him, and when you see it, Nico Kuhn comes back into the box and it looks like he's going to pass to the keeper. He then decides not to, and he passes it to Cameron Carter-Vickers. Cameron Carter-Vickers turns around and he thinks that the keeper's not there, because if the keeper was to his right hand side, Kuhn would have put it straight to the keeper. So he's thinking that the keeper must be at the other side of him, the left hand side. So he turns around and passes the ball to the left hand side, and then looks up and the keeper's not there. It was a simple mistake. Anyway, it's just one of those things. Let's give Bruges some credit, Baz. They play superb football. Yep, they do play some superb football at that. Right, troops, I'm off to watch some Crime Channel. Catch his later, says Lorna. Spot on, Baz. That's what I thought. The pass back. Yep, it was like Kaiser. That's what happened. Do you know, when you seen Kuhn come into the box, the keeper's there. Kuhn should have passed it to the keeper, not Cameron Carter-Vickers. Cameron Carter-Vickers then thinks, well, if he's not passing it that way, the keeper's not there, he must be passing it to me because the keeper's at this side, playing it safe. That's it at the end of the day. Anyway, I'm not reading the comments, sorry if you are just comment. Paul Beard says, Carly Taylor shouldn't play for Celtic again. Nope, I don't think that Taylor... I think Brendan Rodgers needs to just tell us that Taylor isn't signing, and he needs to bring Alex Bailly into the team and get him some serious game time. Anyway, on that note, there's been over 1,334 people that have come in. It's amazing that that's went back up since people unsubscribed. There was a few Huns that have got kicked out, to be fair. But anyway, I'll be back tomorrow morning with some chat about how the game went tonight and the way forward, because we have a massive game this weekend. It is another game at Celtic Park. Yes, we are back at Celtic Park this weekend, and we'll need to sort something out for Little Ellie this weekend, and we'll sort that out tomorrow. We do play Ross County at home. We are top of the table. Aberdeen drop points. Lots to look forward to. We've still got a big, massive run in the league to go forward to. And then that takes us into December. December, the holy grail of months when it comes to football. There's a lot of football to be played in December. A couple of Champions League games, cup final. A lot of things to look forward to. So come on, let's put a smile back on our face. It was only a draw. You know, we're not saying that it was a moral victory or anything. It's the Champions League. This is the big boys league. This is the table that we want to be at. And anyway, on that note, have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.